show a week for free. But if you want to help support NUFC Matters, then there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast and video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications bell so you don't miss a single show. If you want to help us financially, then you can join the channel using this button with the membership starting at $1.99 a month. Or you can drop us a donation in the chat using a super sticker. We're also looking for sponsors. If you'd like your brand advertised on the flyers for the show and featured during the ad break, then email John at nufcmatters.com to arrange.
Hush now, city kids, gather round for urban myths. Hush now, city kids. When it came to me after so long, I didn't have no choices in the streets where I was from. When I think about the pain, I didn't have no choices. I took what I had sworn. Hush now, city kids, gather round for urban myths. Hush now, city kids. But you know, the wouldn't let you have it any other way.
Good evening, welcome to NUFC Matters. It is the Fans Forum on Christmas Eve, Monday the 23rd of December. And lots to talk about tonight, lots of positivity, I'm sure, as we look back on a great Carabao Cup quarter-final win and a wonderful win in the Premier League. And a love affair that has blossomed on Tyneside, but started in it. There we go. Jacob Murphy, and who is he looking at? But we all know who he's looking at. It's that guy in the crowd. In the words of ABC, it's the look of love. Darren at Ipswich. I love Jacob Murphy, and Jacob was just dazzled. He had to wear his glasses. I'll tell you what, this is just going to blossom, and we can forget about this, Stephen Kennedy. Darren's going to be eating more and more humble pie as this goes on. There is no doubt about it. And the star of the team now. Even got his own chant from @Toon Chants on X. Jacob Murphy, his mother comes from Berkeley. We know he was a Geordie, and now he's scoring goals for Edwards Mags. There we go. And that is a song that Darren was actually singing at the match as well. I witnessed reports of Darren singing that song. Thank you to all of our NUFC Matters spies who sent us back reports of Darren's love affair. Jacob Murphy did step up again. 46 days he waited to get into the team after a spell on the sidelines. And it is hard to imagine, as the Chronicle says, the winger coming out of this side anytime soon in this sort of form. After impressing on his return to the starting 11 against Liverpool, Murphy's since scored 3 goals. He set up 3 more in just 3 games. Not only did Murphy have a big hand in Newcastle's opener against Ipswich on Saturday, the 29-year-old, I know he only looks 21, rifled in the visitors' crucial second goal with a fine finish from inside the area before setting up Newcastle's fourth with a jaw-dropping back heel assist for Isak. And even Sky, who don't like to give Newcastle any praise, just giving you an insight into Jacob Murphy. Minutes played, 1,190. 14th as far as the Newcastle rankings are concerned. This was prior to the Ipswich game. Minutes per goal, 4th. Minutes per assist, 1st. Minutes per chances created, 2nd. Minutes big chances created, 2nd. Yes, this isn't going to be long before we see the Ballon d'Or in Jacob Murphy's hands. And that humble pie, will there be none left, Darren, will there, at the end of the season?
It's getting worse this program, like, isn't it, for the viewers?
And there's a signed picture that Tom's got.
Well done.
Yeah, and you may be wondering why Tom has got Steve Wraith is bald in his caption. Well, that's because at the darts yesterday, indeed, Steve Wraith is bald.
Steve Wraith is bald.
How do you know? You can't see us. Go on then, Darren. Give us your views on the Ipswich game. You were there, mate.
Go on, Darren. Go on.
The only negative I've got is we should have won 8-9 all day long. We're bossed from even the first goal in 25 seconds. A cross come from the right hand side. I can't remember his name. He crossed it in, and he's
Tell you what, Daz, I'm not being funny. You're a big fan, but if Murph ever sees you in the street, I'd duck.
Yeah, I'm sure he told me because he come look for us again on Saturday for his goal. I'm sure he come looking for us.
Well done, Barry.
But no, yeah, he turned up. He done all right, but we're playing relegated teams, right? That's the last 3 games. Support Brentford. You done nothing against Brentford, my eyes at all.
He's been bloody brilliant the last few games, admit it. He's been brilliant the last few games.
But who we're playing though? Who we're really playing? You know what I mean? Like, see how it goes.
Playing the teams that have beat us this season.
But it's just haven't beat us this season. We played them first time.
No, but I mean,
let's not beat us this season. First time we played the rest of the season.
Take away Murphy from it. Take away Murphy from it, mate. What was your thoughts on that game?
Mate, to be fair, like, we bossed this team for the first second, or strong, in control of the game, but there was no faults. Ipswich looked more tired than us. To be fair, they looked leggy on the pitch. I think Matthew Day done him a favour by showing him 2 chances, but we could have. He's not missed 3 chances before he even got his hat-trick. And Gordon missed a simple header. It was harder to miss. He missed it. But it was good. It was a good away day. I enjoyed it. We turned up to get 2 wins and a cup win. Can you ask for anything else? No, not really. And all these people are saying, "Sackety how?" I hope they eat the humble pie. Like, you know what I mean? So,
the cup game obviously was prior to that midweek, and Brentford had done a number on us down there. People saying it was going to be a tougher game, but ultimately, another great performance. And through to the next round, of course, semi-finals. Arsenal away. What's in the first leg, second leg, obviously back at home a month apart. Thoughts on the cup draw, Darren?
Well, whoever I got was going to be hard. Yeah. I was hoping for Tottenham, the easiest one. But we've got to be afraid of it. I mean, long we go down fighting. Alex get beat 1-0, we win. We are 2-0. You never know in football. It's in our hands. I mean, we're playing good football and confidence. Just see how we get on. The whole game, we just got to give 100%. Get through. We're doing. I fancy had chances of beating them. But it was good. It was a big week, and all the players had done good. Like, yeah, even my pal, he done good against them. He crossed a good ball. He was active. He got any faults, and again, the only change I would make. Well, do you change against Villa? Do you keep the same team, or do you play Joe Linton? That's the only thing I'd say. Well, it got Joe Linton for me midweek. That's
all right. Well, we'll look ahead to that, of course, in the second half. Tom, thoughts on the results over the last couple of days since we last sat and spoke about Newcastle? Really great week for me, following on from that Leicester performance.
Yeah, over the moon. Everybody has got to be have a little extra pep in their step these days. I think Darren is such a good person, and he's so much fun, and I appreciate him sometimes being the little pantomime villain on here. And we're all having giving him a lot of sticks. So I just want to thank him for keep smiling. I can't wait to have a beer with him one day. He's fantastic. Murphy's been on a roll. We talked about Murphy, but I think the triangle that is Murphy, Bruno, and Isaac is something that's pretty, developing pretty special. And they understand each other. And I want to credit Bruno that, may not be talked today, but I thought he was fantastic all week. But the Ipswich, he was another level. He was all over the place, and it's a shame he didn't get that header to go down. But what allows that triangle is Tonali. So I want to spend my time talking about Sandro Tonali, that him and Bruno just bossed the midfield. And George Mitchell has been talking about for months that he's got the speed. Tonali has the speed. He has the nous. He's got the skills. And I think he delivers more one-touch passes than the rest of the team combined. So putting Tonali at the 6, watching him work with the 2 center backs, or him working with the fullback and the other midfielders, or even him pushing the ball ahead. He had a beautiful lead through ball as well. He makes everything better. He just makes everything better in that role. And I think Bruno, who I've criticized as being a lousy captain, he looks reborn on the pitch. I just thought it was really fantastic. So that switch, Tonali to the 6, Bruno up to the 3. I thought every player on the pitch, maybe except for Willock, who I think is still finding his legs, but every player on the pitch for us was really outstanding. To go back to Murphy, though, we and Darren we should have been up maybe 6-0 at the half. I believe that there was a through ball from Murphy that Isak kind of choked on. That should have been another goal made for Murphy. And then that little chip from the wing up to Gordon that somehow he didn't get that header on target should have been another assist. So Murphy's playing really, really well. But I want to ask the people on the pitch, or people on the show, every one of you, how hard was that Ipswich pitch that Gordon's header from 3 yards out hit the ground and bounced over that? And it looked like Willock might even got a concussion when his head hit the pitch the other day. But I've never seen anybody have a header that close to the goal that bounced up and went completely over the goal. So there are my thoughts. Murphy good. The triangles, the relationships with everybody better. But I think that Tonali, there's no secret that Murphy's getting in better position because Bruno is up front and Tonali has solidified the defense. I think I looked at the heat map with Murphy, and he's on the front foot. He's not back there helping to defend near as often. And the same thing with Gordon. And I think Tonali solidifying that defense is making everything better.
It's interesting you mentioned that. Denise says our building of partnerships is also increasing. Tonali and Bruno, Hall and Gordon, Tino and Murphy. Throughout, we are building and improving. This is all down to Eddie Howe. And you're right, Denise, 100%. Tom's mentioned it as well. And that's where the success, Tom, came under Eddie Howe from, the early days when essentially he set up that Willock, Longstaff, Kieran Trippier, and Almiron, that kind of partnership. And I think he mentioned it today in the press conference, and he said that these things take time to create these. It doesn't happen overnight. And I think I can't remember which journalist it was who asked him the question, but you're right, 100% right. That's the success, and finding that way of being able to play Tonali and Bruno in the same team is great. And I mean, we were playing Ipswich. Ipswich hadn't won at home. Ipswich, had only scored 16 goals, but we still had to go down there and do a job. And I think there's quite a few people saying typical Newcastle to go down there and be the first team that gets beat. We've seen that happen many times. We went down there and put in a professional performance as we had done against Brentford. The Brentford game in the Cup, I sat and watched it, and I felt Brentford. It almost felt like Brentford had chucked it away. But I think when I watched the highlights again, after I got back home from the match, it was Newcastle did a really good job on them, and that's the difference. We've got to start giving them credit. No international break now. We are going to be judged. Darren's quite right. We will be judged on the next 3 games: Aston Villa, Spurs, Manchester United. If we can walk away from those games with 9 points would be fantastic, but I'd settle for 7 if it meant that we went unbeaten in those 3 games. taking us into, the new year, back in the top 5 or, top 4 maybe, depending on results. That would be fantastic. And just, mentioning just a few of the other players as well. We've talked about Alexander Isak quite a bit. Denise did send us in a few things. Alexander Isak, game by numbers, 9 touches in the opposition box, 5 shots on target, 3 big chances, 3 goals, 2 chances created, and of course his first Premier League hat-trick. Alexander Isak's season so far in the Premier League, 10 goals, 4 assists, first Premier League hat-trick, definitely delivering in style. And Alexander Isak this season for club and country, 22 games, 20 goal assists, 15 goals, 5 assists. Wow indeed. Lots of positivities there. And Spenny sent us this in, just saying that, he's not too far away from Alan Shearer, Callum Wilson, Peter Beers, Andy Cole and Shola Amiobi as far as goals per match is concerned. So, he's definitely changed things around massively and obviously played his big part in the in the result at the weekend, and he's firing on all cylinders, and we've just got to hope that he can keep this run going. And that was really the difference, Alan, wasn't it, coming to you? We're putting our chances away. 11 goals now in 3 games, Alan. Could have been more. Darren's right, we could have had 8, really 8 or 9 at the weekend, but we are scoring chances. And you just think back to the Everton game. Was it 25, 26 shots on target and 1 missed penalty, and we ended up with a 0-0 draw at Everton. Other games that we've lost at home, which we shouldn't have lost. Chances are plenty, but we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. We've rediscovered our goal scoring touch. I think that's the big plus.
Oh, definitely, Steve. Everybody on the panel and the chat must be delighted how things have gone. Tom nailed it with Tonali. But one point I would like to make, lads, is if we only had Dubravna could save as well as Pope, and Pope could distribute the ball as well as Dubravna, we would have the perfect keeper, because it's no coincidence we're starting off much better. The back line seems a lot securer with Dubravna having the ball at his feet. And even though he's never had a shot to make in the last 3 games, hardly, it's been noticeable that the defence doesn't seem as shaky passing back to him. Where Pope's a better shot stopper, and that's where Pope gets the nod over Dubravna. But if we could combine the both of them, we would have the perfect keeper. And it's just a shame one or either of them don't have the same attributes as the other. But perfect away performance. I was on the podcast watching it, and Darren was on with the Ipswich lads.
Oh, was he?
And one of the highest praises the Ipswich lads said, Steve, was that Newcastle were the best team that played this season. So that's high praise indeed, even better than Liverpool. And when you consider, lads, Liverpool have hardly dropped a point, and I still think we could have won that game. It shows you, we can get in that top 4 or 5 if we keep this run going. The next 3 games, and I agree with Darren and Murphy, the next 3 games will be pivotal to our season going forward. The lads deserve great credit, and also Eddie Howe. We've got to give him. He was under 10 days ago, lads. Few people in the chat and few people outside were thinking, really, is this it with Eddie Howe? And he's proved them wrong so far. Give him to the end of the season, sure, it's still a long way to go, but Eddie Howe deserves a lot of credit for this last 3 games, because he was under serious pressure to perform, and everyone he came through with flying colours. So, lads, I can only say what Tom did, and Darren says, Darren was there and he was smiling away when Murphy scored, and you could say, did he really do that in the caption? But and I've got 8 humble pie, lads, because give him these flowers. I'm Murphy's biggest critic, but you cannot deny that lad gives 100%. He works his socks off, but it's these big games, and we'll see in the future going forward. But couldn't be happier, Steve. Couldn't be happier. Long may it continue.
Yep. Now we'll come to the only person on the fans forum who comes now with a health warning from Jackie Nicholson. Warning, viewers of the chat, please turn your volume down to a respectable level. The next guest is the Icelandic megaphone. Over to you.
Yes, I have had some struggles with my volume, and it's been either too loud or too too low. So I trust that the viewers will tell me if this is way too loud. I don't want to burst any speakers, and I don't want people to have to turn down their volume. But once I start talking, it usually gets louder and louder and louder. So I'm sorry if I break any speakers. Can you hear me loud?
If you can keep whispering like that, Magnus, that'll be great. What did you make of the result? What did you make of the result?
The results are absolutely fantastic. We spoke last Monday, and I was hoping for a penman result against Brentford, and I got it. The last 3 games being 11-1, and then we are slightly disappointed about the one goal that went in. This is a joy to behold. How can this not be a great Christmas? This is perfect. This is what I've been calling for every Christmas, really. If I am to give a shout out to anybody, I've been talking a lot about Tonali, and he's an absolute Rolls Royce, world class player. He is. I've started to do what Kevin said the other day. To watch Tonali and the Toonami, and just keep my eye on Tonali for the longer periods of the game. And boy, oh boy, is he everything I expected him to be. He needed to get on a bit of a run. It took a little bit of time, but boy, oh boy, I cannot hold water over the quality that he brings to the team, and every little sort of sensitive touch that he does, and all the forward thinking. I'm really impressed. But I also have to, because we have been the friend criticizing a little bit, and I must give credit to Darren for criticizing Jacob Murphy, because look at the improvement. Look at the improvement. It's working, man. We are the critical friend. We are not trying to destroy anybody. And I must give you, I must give you, Darren, credit for bringing out the best in him, because I'm sure he was looking at you when he was celebrating that first goal. Anyway, if Messi made that, assist that he did, in the end of the game, or the last goal that we scored, it would be all over the media and absolutely everywhere. But it was Jacob Murphy, and they kind of tend to silence it down. I would also like to mention what Alan said. Last year when Nick Pope went out, we struggled seriously, and I have to give a huge credit to Martin Dubravka for stepping up to the plate. I know he's not been the busiest, but he's been really solid and secure, and it feels like he's well in place, and it's not for no reason that he has made the second spot his own. I was one of the guys that were calling for Vlachodimos, but humble pie for me. He showed me exactly why he's number 2, and when called upon, he's never let us down. And maybe there was a little bit of a struggle last year because we also lost Botman and Jolinton at the same time, so there was a lot of things going wrong for us. But I have to give a huge sort of shout out to both Bruno, that has been under a little bit of a criticism, and especially to Dubravka, because the other ones, they go without saying. Lewis Hall has been fantastic, surprising me every day, and then the Gordon and Isak go without saying. So our blue chip players are getting more, and they're all stepping up to the plate. Very impressed. Very impressed. Long may it continue.
Jamie, Magnus, well said.
Great stuff. Barry, thoughts on the week we've just had? 11 goals, and Murphy setting the world alight. Isak setting the world alight.
It's for me, Eddie Howe's finally got the piece in the puzzle. He's got Tonali in the right position. He's got Bruno playing in the best, not necessarily Bruno's best position, but the best place for the two of them to work together. And the number of times we said before that, Steve, that the defence was struggling because the midfield was all out of the shop. And up front, we weren't getting the possession and we weren't getting it forward quick enough for Isaac. And all of a sudden, everything's falling into place. The midfield looks tremendous. Tonali is going to go on to be our player of the season. You can see coming a mile away because he's just getting better and better and better. I mean, covering Murphy, I think his back heel was absolutely incredible. He is literally at the level now that Almiron was when he went through that purple patch where he was scoring for fun. His confidence must be so high, it's unreal. Darren's right. He'll struggle against the top teams because he's not that world-class player that we need. Mm-hmm. But he's the right player to play at the moment. He's the best we've got in that position. He's way ahead of Miggy. I don't think he's got any danger of that. And I think he's put himself, for me, he's put himself ahead of Barnes as well. I think he's playing on sheer confidence and he's taking chances that he wouldn't have done 6 months ago. I mean, for me, it's a real shame because Isaac could have had 5 goals at the weekend. I think he's another one who's on fire. He just seems to have this thing, though, where if it's a really difficult effort, he puts it away. If it's dead simple, he manages to hit the bloody goalkeeper from about 4 foot out. And you just think, what is it? Or he's a class player, but I think we've got, like the guys who said last week, we've got the toughest games coming up. We've got to play Spurs, we've got to play Man United, we've got Arsenal coming up. But you can't have done any more than we've done to build the confidence, to build a run. You know, we've picked up points right, left and centre. We're through, like you said yesterday, Steve, we're through at the semi-final of the Cup. That's increased the confidence levels. We're getting Tottenham, which, as Darren said, it's probably the easier game that we could have gotten out of the draw. But it then means we've got to face one of the big guns in the final, which is we're going to have to do it the hard way. If we want to win our first trophy in donkey's years, we're going to have to do it as hard as possible, probably playing the Scousers in the final. But yeah, I'm so pleased for them, and I'm so pleased for Eddie because he's been under, like Alan said, he's been under so much cosh. He's managed to get them playing again, going forward, fighting as a team, and they look class. I think Byrne was outstanding. Hall was excellent. You can't fault them. I think the guys are right as well. I think we've got problems with the goalkeeper because even when Pope's fit again, I don't think he's the answer anymore. I think his distribution with his feet is shocking. And the fact that Dubravka's now shown that by being able to place the balls, being able to get us playing quicker and further forward, it's shown that I thought Pope was going to be our number one for quite a while, but I think they may well look at replacing him with somebody who's got a combination of both, because as a shot stopper, he's great. But when he kicks the ball, you've got more chance of it getting into the stand or getting into the crowd than it has of actually going to anybody decently. And I don't know how they can get away from that. I do have concerns that financially we're going to have to sell Dubravka in January to get ourselves back on level terms, which then your worry is, will Eddie be happy with the Greek guy or will he look at bringing in somebody else? But yeah, can it be happier for them, Steve? It was two amazing games and keep it going.
Yeah, I would agree. I just want to remind people as well, I mean, everyone, we're talking about these games coming up. We're talking about Manchester United. We're talking about Spurs. We're talking about Aston Villa. We beat Spurs at the start of the season in September. We'll beat them 2-1. We've played Chelsea, who are a really good team this season. Certainly in and around Champions League places, I can see Chelsea being there this season. Yeah, we got beat away, a narrow defeat, 2-1 away, but which could have been more. But we then beat them 2-0 in the Cup. We've beaten Arsenal already this season. We've beat them 1-0 at home. Liverpool, who are no doubt about it, one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league at the moment, we drew with them 3-3. And we played Brentford away. We got beat 4-2. We all know what happened there. But then Brentford were, again, not a bad team and had gone unbeaten at home up until this weekend. We beat them in the Carabao Cup quarterfinals convincingly 3-1. So, on that day, I think Newcastle, they don't need to prove anything now. We can't beat anybody on our day. Our Achilles heel this season has been dropping points against teams that we should have beaten. Not playing well. We had a poor start at the start of the season, not playing well, and we picked up points. We've had that little blip at Everton, 0-0. Brighton away 1-0, and then losing that Chelsea game when it felt as if the world was caving in on us, really. I still think that Newcastle have got nobody to fear this season. Liverpool is going to be the test. We've managed to avoid them in the semi-finals. I still think we can get to that final. And the league games, well, let's see where we're at after Christmas. It's a hell of a period, this Christmas period. Kevin, thoughts on the last week?
Comfortable, professional, had an intent about how we were going to play, didn't allow the other teams to get back into it, and pretty much the old adage is being the true Premier League side. And in terms of the games against Leicester, game against Ipswich, and really putting the marker down of what it's like to be a top Premier League side, no matter who you play, no matter the formation, whatever it is, it was a true Premier League performance, and that's what we have to do. Like I've said previously, in terms of consistency, that's what you've got to go to places like that and get results. And agree with the lads in terms of Eddie Howe. He's finding out answers now. He's finding to those questions that we've all been asking. Can Tonali play? Can Bruno play together? Yeah, they can, because they'll play a double pivot. That's not rocket science. Everybody can see it. And again, it's just fitting those little pieces around them to where they can all succeed. So I think he's finding those answers out. But I mean, again, it's just pretty much our training session like games. But you know, if you play within a true game plan with it, like again with the intent of laying the marker down, this is how we're going to play. You're going to have to deal with it, playing low blocks, playing on the counter attack, whatever it is. Even against Brentford, which I thought was poor from their standpoint in terms of the way they set up and played, which I thought they could have given us a little bit more of a game. But hey ho, you can only play what's in front of you. But yeah, overall positive. For me, Sandro Tonali has been the best player on the park over all 3 games. I don't care who you play against. He's just shown his class, what he has. So yeah, it's been, you know, it's nice to have gone a little run, and again, we've got to go on another 3-game run, and I think the Villa game's a big game. That's a bigger game for me. I'm not worried about the Man United and Tottenham. Sorry, I've just seen that comment, and no, I'm not going burgling. I'm a good lad. I think the Villa game's the more important game out of the 3, especially at home, especially where they are. And yeah, I think we can actually do them, to be honest. The way they play with a higher line, we've got a bit of pace. I'm not worried about Man United because they're in 3-4, a bit of turmoil, so you know, just go there and play our normal game. And Tottenham, you never know what you're going to get. Jekyll and Hyde, you just don't know. So the next 3 games, I was a little bit concerned how we were going to go into them. Now, with the confidence that we have and the way we're playing, the 20-odd plus the chances we're creating every game, now we're going in, and it's a consistent basis of 4s and 3s. So I think we can go again and do that again, even against Villa. I think we can go and do that. Yes, it's going to be a more difficult game, more tactical type based game, but I think we can go on another 3-game winning run, to be perfectly honest, and get probably what would that put us into the near of the top 4 or knocking on the door of it. So why not? And it's again a positive week, positive Christmas, which is a rarity in the black and white shirt. But let's continue the progress what the whole group are making as a team and as a squad and as a coaching staff, and let's go again over the Christmas and New Year period.
You're getting some stick for your cap and Adidas top combo. Kev's recording a new rap.
I've even got a black T-shirt on.
Where's your gloves and your mask? Classic. Are you going burglar?
In my pocket.
Ian, what's the crack, mate? What do you think about the last week? It's good to be positive again. Anyway. Oh, you're on mute. It's a schoolboy era, mate.
Keep him on mute. Just keep him going.
Well, I think I muted me because I've had a few. Cheers, lads. Merry Christmas, everyone in the chat. I was just going to go from you, Darren. From Murph. First, before we start, I want to understand someone was going, Ian's handing out subscriptions in the private chat.
Ian McKenna
Oh, right.
has donated again another 10 memberships. So thank you. There you go.
I thought it was to Dazzy's OnlyFans. But is it? Yeah. No. Anyway, no. Start off. I've had a few tonight, so I'll not go on too long. I thought Murphy this last few matches has been excellent. That back heel, you lads will know what I put in our private chat for that back heel, and it was pure sheer emotion to Daz, and it was just so that everybody knows. So it's not like we're keeping it in the like in the club. It was F you, Daz, and then we're like. It was he was excellent. He was excellent. Bruno, fuck me, man. Bruno's back. Push Bruno a bit more forward. Stop him doing all the boring shit that Bruno should never do. You know, Bruno's not that player. What Tonali does is he does that role, but then he makes that role interesting. Bruno did that role really well, and he's one of the best at it. But Tonali breaks lines. He's different class in that. And I think they've got a bit of a bromance going on. A bit like Daz and Murph have got. You know what I mean? But I think they now are friends and they understand each other and they're used to playing together and they understand their positions. I know this bollocks that people are coming out with going, including Bruno, that we don't want to play with a number 6. Fuck that. Load of bollocks. There's only one number 6 in this team at the moment. There's only one player that should be at that fulcrum of the team. We all know who it is. Push Bruno forward. Let him go and do what Bruno does. He's been excellent. He's not a number 10 for me. He's number 8. But he floats around. He thinks these passes through. He's been brilliant. Bruno could have had about 3 or 4 frigging headed goals, in the last 2 or 3 games.
And he's not even tall.
Yeah.
Say it again.
I said he's not even tall, but he seems to find a way.
Exactly. He's just there, and he. I just think I think that relationship's been key to everything. Murphy, I know I've mentioned him before. Murphy, for me, is yes, he's not the future, but he is the present. We haven't got anyone better than Murphy, and I'll tell you what, he's that relationship. Do you remember the previous game where I talked about Hall, and then down the left hand side and the relationship that they had? It was the other way. It was on the right hand side.
Yeah,
I'm trying not to swear. It was brilliant. And now all these little partnerships. I know I can't remember who said it. One of Denise, was it?
Yeah.
Denise mentioned these little partnerships. These 2 players getting to know each other. Triangle. 4 players getting to know each other. All this, it all comes together, and that's when you fucking start playing properly. That's what they've been all been playing with the thumbs up their arses. Sorry, I'm no one's been connecting.Ey've not been playing as a team. They've been playing as individuals, chucking the toys out of the fucking pram and all that. Now we're back. All we have to do now is keep playing like that. Keep pressing. If we're on the front foot, we're good. If we sit back with a low press, we shit. We might as well walk off the pitch and go, there's the goal. That's not our game. Keep playing like we're playing and we'll be all right. Sorry.
Pablo, follow that.
Thank you and good night. There's a couple of things we need to address before we talk football. Who has got that grandfather clock chiming in the background? How big is it?
That's Darren's.
Well, I borrowed it from Central London. It's named Ben. It's right over here.
Fantastic. That's good. But the beautiful thing is, I want to say Merry Christmas to everyone in the chat and on the panel.
Well
The
said.
second is, how nice is it that we're all just sat here having a laugh? Finally, it's like a weight is lifted off our shoulders because we've managed to deliver what we want and what we expect. Magnus's microphone, by the way, that should have been donated to Eddie Howe last year for his press conferences.
Yeah.
I mean, why the club have not been in touch with you, mate, I've no idea. That's the most we've ever had.
They can't get hold of him. They can't get hold of him. There's shit signal out there.
Well, yeah. No, the Ipswich game, the lads have mainly covered everything that I would probably pick up on. Finally, it seems, yes, there is an argument for, yes, we should be beating these teams. But the way we've beaten them, we haven't just cruised, we haven't just kind of pumped our way through and got a niggly 1-0 win. We've actually done what we said we'd do on the tin. We've taken the game to them, we've put the goals in the net. Yes, on those games we could have got more. But do you know what? Those teams, Ipswich, certainly Leicester, I would suggest Southampton will go straight back down. So forget that, we know that. But we've only done what we can do, you know what I mean? We've put 4 goals past them. The thing I'd say about Murphy is he is the prime example at the minute of a professional footballer being professional. The lad has grafted, the lad has drifted in and out of the team at varying points, and he probably knows that he's getting slated by the fan base or certain sections, certainly Darren.
It's not calling. I'm just saying my opinion about him. I just don't think he's.
I agree with you. I do agree with you in the long run. But he's done what I would want every one of my players to do. He's acted professionally. He's grafted. He's turned up when we needed him, and we have needed him because there is no one better.
Exactly.
I don't think
if we had I'll tell you what, right? If we had 11 Murphys with the attitude Murphy's got on the pitch, we wouldn't have the shit that we've had at the start of the season.
We
Disagree.
Right. There's a couple of other things. The Tonali stroke, the Bruno midfield thing. Finally, now it seems the pieces of the jigsaw are being put in the correct positions. Set pieces we look more creative on, so that's obviously work being done behind the scenes. These little, as you say, partnerships, but the little pieces of jigsaw are falling into place. I knew of Sandro Tonali before we signed him as a number 6, hard-working, tenacious, physical midfielder. That to me isn't a number 8. That's Bruno. Sorry for the lights again, lads. A couple of things. I mean, Ipswich did allow us to go at them. I think it was fantastic that the first goal that was disallowed by the Lions person, big respect to the referee for going to check that properly. I was gutted for Dan Burn. I was hoping Dan Burn was going to be on the sheet. But as regards what it is, lads, we are going into a difficult period next few games. But there's no better way to go into that period than what we've done. We couldn't have done any more than what we've done. After that dismal showing at Palace, people have reacted. Eddie's reacted. The players have reacted. And we've done all we can. All we can do is try our best. I'm glad we've got Arsenal to a certain degree because I think if we'd have got Liverpool, that could have been the end of our chances, albeit because it's a 2-leg tie. I think we probably can do Arsenal over a 2-leg tie, but we'd have to be bang on our game to do that. But I think Liverpool in the final, it's a 90-minute final. So all in all, chuffed a bit, living my best life, and it's happy to be a Newcastle fan again, and with you guys.
Cheers, Pablo. Well said.
Great stuff. Still got about 20 minutes to go. For those of you who are regular viewers of the Fans Forum, we will be here next Monday. No rest for the panel, and no rest for the amigos either. But just want to thank everybody in the chat first and foremost, because that is our figures for this year. 1,141 new subscribers, 1.9 million views is our average, 728 shows we've done, 68,500 likes on the videos, 3,900 comments, a lot more comments this year, which is great, shows that people are interacting, and 8,679 of you have shared the shows, which when you look at it, could be better. Likes and shares. That's what it's all about. It's why I do that little intro each time. But we're never going to complain. It's been a wonderful year. And I just want to take the time to say thank you to the panel who've been absolutely brilliant. I think they've grown in confidence, grown in stature. They've each got their own personalities. We've had one or two who've come and gone over the year as well. Martin, Spenny in particular, as standouts who contributed to the show. Great to have them on. George as well, who is a pivotal part of the podcast, is obviously travelling out to the Middle East. And I think we all hold George in high regard. Most of us have had many meetings with him. I know Tom's looking forward to meeting him when he comes back over to the UK next year. And hopefully Kev will be heading over as well, so we'll all be able to get together. But it's just a big thank you to everybody, because it's really grown over the last 4 years. Been a wonderful journey, and I think everybody's thoroughly enjoyed it, and it has been a good year. So thanks to everybody for your support, and last but by no means least, thanks to the moderators, because the moderators do keep the chat clean. They keep a good eye on what's going on in there, and that's why people come back, because people can have an opinion in this channel. People can have an opinion without being shouted down. We all get angry at times. We all get disappointed at times. But you know what? There is a real respect for people in this community, and lots of people who are in the community have managed to meet. And there's some we haven't met. Les is a big part of the chat. We don't get a chance to see Les, sadly, but Les, a big part of the channel as well, always has been. So a big shout to everybody. Thank you to you all. And Jules, who is the leader of the pack, looking forward to seeing you after Christmas at the Christmas get together.
Can I just say, Steve?
Go on, quickly. Go for it.
On behalf of all of us on the panel, and I know a lot of people who are in the chat as well. Fortunately, the only reason I know them, being honest, and have met them, people like Mozza and Roger and everybody, that I've met, who are classed as friends and who are really good people, is because that you do this, and you do, like you say, like always, it's 7 days a week. You don't go out begging for money, apart from for charities. You're not for yourself. You don't, you do things the right way. I know you've got a little bit pissed off with things, or in the I'm sexy. Steve Wraith is a baldy bastard. He is, yeah. Yeah.
The obvious.
There's not enough fucking hair in Turkey for you to go over there and get them. Be a lot of Turkish dogs walking around like looking.
We need to get a square box for you, like.
I know I'm
It goes straight to hell, man.
But like that, from me, I like really appreciate what you've done for me. You've helped us out with like shaving me head, getting rid of that quiff. That was a belter. Actually, that was not right. That was it. And
you did well, mate. You did well. But that's what this community's all about. We've managed to raise.
Thank you very much, mate. Is what I meant to say.
Yeah,
thank you, mate. Thank you. We've managed to raise over £5,000 for dementia this year. We're going to be, we're well on course to raise at least 15.
We did over £1,000 for my mate's charity, by the way.
For yours, brilliant, yeah. And it looks like we're on course to raise about £1,500 for the cat and dog shelter just after Christmas, which I know will be great for them as well. Big shout out! Everybody in the chat is special. People like Stephen Kennedy, who's in the chat today. We've got Jimmy Wilson, who those kind of people send me lots and lots of pictures. There's lots of the lads and lasses as well on X who send us pictures on a regular basis. Too many to mention you all, but you know who you are. Thank you for doing that. And a big shout out to Denise, who's become a big part of the chat. She's sending bits and bobs over. And there is an unsung hero in the chat on a Monday night who's becoming a bit of a star, and that's Tilly. Uncle Darren, for Christmas, I'm buying you a Jacob Murphy picture with a lovely autograph, she says. And Darren, what is that Christmas tree behind you? It's tiny.
It's not, it's just Darren's massive.
Hey, but I think
that's 2 meters tall.
Too big. Christmas, lad. I've got to be nice once a year.
Tiny Tim there. Darren has asked a question, and it's not about my camera. He does get concerned when I'm not on camera. I'm never in the vicinity of my camera on a Monday, mate. That's why I'm never on camera. But this show is more about the lads, not me. So I'm not making an effort to rush back. Darren says, "Is Darren worried that one of the top teams will come in for Murphy in January?"
Madrid. Yeah, they're getting rid of Vinny Jr. for Murphy.
They can have him. They need money to bring money in, so they can have him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Swap deal with Bellingham.
I think the answer is no. Darren, in the chat. Thanks to Ian McKenna anyway for giving those memberships out. Let's go around the board and get some predictions and your thoughts going into these next two games. We'll look at Villa and we'll look. Because we've got two games before the next game, haven't we? So let's before the next show, let's have a look at the Villa game. First of all, Darren, what's your views on that? A home fixture against Villa. I think you've got to go back quite a few years for them to pick up a win at St James's Park, and then we've got Manchester United away on the 30th. So that'll be the day that we do the show. But let's just look at Villa. We'll do the Manchester United show. We'll talk about Manchester United next Monday on the show. So let's just look at Villa. You mentioned earlier when you were talking about Joe Linton. I mean, obviously, he mentioned Joe Linton in the chat today at the press conference. You know, he didn't say it was touch and go, but just said, yeah, he's hoping he would be available. Would you change the team? Would you bring Joe Linton back in?
I would, if Murphy's fit, play Murphy. Sorry, if Willock's fit, you play Willock because you wouldn't. I don't like changing a winning team. So it all depends on what anyhow things. You know what I mean? I'll play the same team. I would. The Boston midfield up there, the freedom. Tonali playing the number 6 role. He's doing a grand job. And all these, what's annoying is all these people put Tonali on the right hand side. He's in the middle. You know what I mean? But no, I'll keep the same team, Stephen. And I've got to agree with a lot about De Bruyne. He feels much safer and much confident when he's got the ball at his feet. So play the same team 100%. And I fancy another win. The 2-1, 3-1.
Okay, 2-1, 3-1. Tom, what you feeling for this fixture? Me and you were chatting earlier, weren't we? And I still think Newcastle will go nap on this game. I'm going to go for a 4-0 win at the weekend. I'm really confident that we're going to beat Aston Villa. But you weren't happy when you heard me say that, were you?
Yeah, Steve, you jinxed us, you bastard. You always, when you predict a win, we always underperform. So I don't want to be too confident, but if we played like we did this past week, we know that we can beat them. They can be very open in the back, as we know. And I know Morgan Rogers played a worldie the other day against City, but that's the first time I've seen it from him all year that he really played that well. So I think he'll be back to normal. But I put Joe Linton back in the lineup. I thought Willock was the one disappointing player on the pitch versus Ipswich. So I would definitely put Joe Linton back in. I think him, Hall, and Gordon work really, really well together, and I wouldn't break up that triumph. So I'm going to predict a 2-0 win. But Steve, I'm not going to bet on it because of your prediction.
All right, okay. Alan, how are you feeling about Villa at home then?
I desperately large for two reasons. I want obviously the run to continue, but second reason is Villa fans absolutely hate we. The podcasts I've been on, they absolutely hate we, and for that reason alone, I'm desperate for it to win. Another reason why I'm with Tom is I'll accept a 1-0 win. Is, you know, I'm a facts and figures man, Steve, and 55 years we've only won 10 games on Boxing Day, and then 55 years.
Yeah,
our record on Boxing Day is absolutely atrocious. Last year,
it's because we're all pissed in the past.
Well, hopefully, Ian, I hope you're right, because last year we played Nottingham Forest and Steve's number 1 striker scored a hat-trick against me, apart from Shearer. So, you know, I'm just hoping for a 1-0 win, 2-0 to me, and shove it down Villa's throats, because seriously, lads, if you go on their podcast, they absolutely detest with. I don't know why so much, but they do. I'm hoping I'll go for a 2-1 win, and I'll be delighted with a 2-1 win.
Alex, the sob on the Tyne thing that happened, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Right.
Honestly,
we hate them. That's why.
Honestly, Ian, you've got no idea that the animosity for some reason against was immense.
Because we hate them, and then they're just giving us back.
Well, I don't hate Villa. Like, I've got no against Villa.
I don't, but honestly, the animosity is unbelievable.
That's great news from Tilly there. My dad sorted you a Murphy T-shirt. There we go, Darren.
I'm gonna photo up this program again. Tell her off.
It don't matter. We've come up with a new substitution rule. Tilly's on next week. You can do one.
Magnus.
Sorry,
please adjust your sets. Magnus, your prediction for the Villa game.
Yes, let me just say a quick, Merry Christmas to everybody. All the moderators and the guys on the panel. I don't take it for granted how you've taken me in like this. I started chatting to you all in February, and I'm really enjoying it, and I can't wait to meet you all, guys. And just really Merry Christmas to all of you. Before I think we're gonna smash that game. We're gonna win 2-0. I don't think it's going to be any bigger than that. But I don't really, the way we are playing, I don't see us even conceding any goal. So with a great Christmas greeting from Iceland, may it be black and white Christmas to all of you. Maybe not so black. I want everybody to stay conscious. But may it be the same success as we've been seeing, and have a great Christmas, everybody, all the viewers, all the moderators, and a lot of you, Steve, everybody. Thanks for having me on. I really do appreciate being here with you guys.
Thank you, Magnus. Mrs. Pablo says, "Can we please get Darren and Murphy cameo?" Yes, I think everyone should all chip. We should all chip in and get him a meet and greet with Murphy. That's what we should do.
That'll be a dreadful Christmas.
He could come and switch
an MMA fight between the two.
He could come and switch the lights on Darren's tree next year or something. Go on, then, Barry. Give us your prediction.
I'm totally with the lads who said we would hammer them. I think, especially at home, I think our confidence is sky high, whereas theirs is wobbling. We just need to keep it going. I'm going for a 3-1 win, Steve. I was going to say 2-1, but some bugger beat us to it in the chat.
Good stuff, Kevin.
Well, Barry just stole what I was going to say in terms of 3-1, because I think we'll concede, so he stole my thunder a bit. But no, I think it's going to be a very interesting game. I think it's going to be an entertaining game for a neutral perspective because of the way Villa play, the way we want to get our teams, and obviously with their high line, I think we'll do them with pace. With Murphy's pace down the right-hand side and Gordon's down the left-hand side, I think we'll give them problems. With Tonali pulling the strings. So yeah, I'll go with a convincing 3-1 win.
Convincing 3-1 win. Okay, Ian.
I thought someone had spiked me drink when Magnus started speaking. Then I was like,
I just can't get it right, man. It's even
Magnus, I appreciate you. I'd only got one bottle of wine. I'm now on the beers, but after you speaking, I feel like I've had 2 bottles of wine. So all right, and a couple of pills. No, sorry, don't say that here.
We can end up having a few.
What was the question, Steve?
Just need your prediction. Ian.
Yeah, 3-1, and I also predict that I will have demonetized this for you, Steve.
No, you won't have, mate. You don't worry about that. No, if you swear in the opening 5 minutes of a YouTube video, it gets demonetized. That's why I always have you on the bottom row.
Yeah, Steve, I'm proper happy you said that because I thought you'd fallen out with us.
No, know your system. That's what you need to do. Know your system.
Yeah, it's right at the arse end.
And we've had a treat tonight. We've had Lee getting up twice to do the light thing. Well done, Lee. So keeping the best to last. Give us your prediction for the Aston Villa game, mate.
I just need to get my steps in. That's why I keep getting up. Two things I want for Christmas is a GoFundMe for Magnus and a microphone and me to get me lazy bum off the deck and put a switch on that. Anyway, I was shaking my head before because you mentioned Kev coming to the UK and I went like that. It's not that I don't want him to. It's just if he continues his thieving streak and that clobber, he'll be banned from the UK.
Yeah.
Stay at my house as well. I stupidly got pissed and said, "Oh, you stay at mine if you want to."
Well, Villa game.
Love you too.
Villa game a lot tighter than what we've been used to in the last 3 weeks. I would suggest a very narrow win, probably a 2-1, because I think Villa will get one against us. So yeah, I'm going to go for a narrow 2-1 win, and then continue forward.
All right, good stuff.
Real quick.
Yeah,
one more prediction from our youngest panelist ever.
Go on.
So my prediction for the game is going to be 3-2, but Jacob Murphy gets a hat trick.
Yay!
Rock and roll!
Get him off! Get him off! Get him off!
That's the spirit.
I do want to say thanks to Jules again.
Have you seen Tilly? Keegan and Tilly could have a date.
No, son.
Jules, you are right about Manchester United having other issues. I did get sent that today. Melly Barnes has been getting some right stick off me, but here is the thing that Jules is talking about. For just £66 at Old Trafford, you can sit with a puddle below your feet and a dead rat. This picture was taken last night.
Oh, yeah. That Rashford.
Is that Rashford? Unbelievable. But yeah, Manchester United have got problems. You are right, Jules.
Did you hear about them having a leak in the press conference as well? Stephen Ambrose was having the press conference. The roof was leaking as well.
It's unbelievable. Isn't it? It's unbelievable. I'm not sad at all. Cristobal, we'll finish with this. Great comment, and it's funny because we were talking off screen about this, and I think Darren's up for it, to be fair, because Tom did ask Darren the question off screen: if Jacob Murphy scored the winner in a cup final, what would you do? And he said, "I'd get him tattooed." So Cristobal says,
"Oh yeah,
Jacob Murphy tattoo." Anyone agree? I'd put money to charity for that as well. If he scores a goal in the final, Darren, is that what you said?
No, the winning goal.
The winning goal.
The winning goal.
He is really hedging his bets.
Goal in the final and we win a cup. I'll get Dazzy's fucking face tattooed on my ass.
Well, we'll bookmark this Monday, the 23rd of December. 2 tattoo announcements. There we go. A quick one on Mal. Yes, Jeff. Mal's still the same, no change. Waiting for an operation. He doesn't have a fast track to the hospital, unfortunately. He's just the same as all of us. He has to wait. So yeah, Mal won't be back on the show probably for the next few months. But he is still recovering. You know, he's still recovering, but he's more or less housebound. He gets out and about occasionally, but he is in a lot of pain, Jeff. So he's not at death's door though, which is the main thing. But he's just in a lot of pain. He's unable to do podcasts. He's unable to go to the match and very rarely gets out of the house. But yeah, get well to Super Mac. I know he does still occasionally watch the show when he can, and I hope he has a good Christmas. I am having a bit of time off, like most people. Tomorrow, though, we have got a show every night for you. And what we've done is we've loaded the interviews that I did for the Entertainers book, Will Scott's book. So tomorrow night, it is going to be Les Ferdinand, the interview I did with Les for the book, which most of the interviews are probably around about the half an hour mark. So at least you've got something to listen to. So that will be on at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Then let me just get this right. We've got the Christmas Day special. So most of you will remember we did Kevin Keegan, we did Peter Beardsley and Chris Waddle at the Tyne Theatre. Well, we did professionally video that. It's a great video, and we did the show. It's just over an hour long. So that is on Christmas Day. at 6 o'clock. Boxing Day, we've got the Lee Clark show that we did at Felon Cricket Club. That's on Boxing Day. And then on the 27th, Rob Lee at Gateshead Leisure Centre. That show will be going up. And on the 29th, the interview is with Mark Hottiger, who doesn't do many interviews. So Mark Hottiger's interview will be going up. 30th, Fans Forum will be live on the Monday. We will be doing the Amigos on Friday though. So the 30th, you will get the Amigos on Friday night, and that will be live. So a couple of live shows a week just for the next couple of weeks. I may chuck in a live Q&A as well with myself if I've got a bit of spare time. So keep an eye out for that. But all that remains is to say Happy Christmas to everybody. Have a great one. I hope Santa's
boys.
good.
Have a good one.
And thank you, lads. Take care. See you.
Love you, Stevie, lads.
Take care.
Christmas, lads.
Love you too, lads.
Happy Christmas.
Take care, everybody, and good night.
Take care, lads.
A big thanks to all our sponsors, Skips and Bins. You can find them at their website, skipsandbins.com. Contact them by email, www.skipsandbins.com/contact. Say hello to low-cost waste disposal with pay-as-you-go and contract waste management. A big thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can find them at their website, mrvickies.co.uk. Email info@mrvickies.co.uk or telephone 01768 210 102. Thanks to United Group Travel, our fanzine sponsors. There are no strangers on our tours, just friends you haven't met yet. 2024 tours, 2 crew driver and courier, local family company, 3-star plus quality hotels and no interchanges. All excursions included. Their website, unitedgrouptravel.com. Email beverly.ugtl@gmail.com. Telephone 01670 632 460 or mobile 0791 666 4174. 2024 Travel and Tourism Award winners. Thanks to Media Arts for all the help with the technical side of things. You can find them at their website, media-arts.co.uk. Our podcast is now available on Sport Social Podcast Network. You can also find us on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast providers. If you want to support the show, hit the thumb up under the video, and that likes the video. Click share to share to your other social media, and hit the subscribe button. We do 7 shows a week. Or hit the join button if you want to financially support us. It costs $1.99 a month. Some dates for your diary. The NUFC Matters Christmas party is in aid of Newcastle Dog and Cat Shelter. Tickets £10 from newcastlelegends.com. The event takes place Saturday, 28th of December, 7 till 11 at the Tyneside Irish Centre. The Longstands are making a reunion in aid of Newcastle Dog and Cat Shelter Saturday, January the 4th at the Clooney. Tickets are £15 from the Clooney venue or newcastlelegends.com. Peter Beardsley will be at the Tyneside Irish Centre on January the 10th. Tickets available from Woucher or from newcastlelegends.com. And an evening with the Entertainers, 24th of January. Box office number 0191 243 1171 or website Tyne Theatre and Opera House.uk. The Lee Clark event is now taking place at the Tyneside Irish Centre on the 31st of January. Tickets available from Woucher. And an afternoon with Sir Les Ferdinand takes place the 6th of April 2025, 12 till 4 at the O2 City Hall in Newcastle. Tickets for that from ticketmaster.co.uk. We have limited fanzine subscriptions available. Go to the website newcastlelegends.com to order yours today. And Will Scott's book is also available from the same website, as well as the Backpage Shop, Waterstones, and WH Smith's.